Okay, this is the second of our rock riffs. And if you've ever heard this song before, you would recognize it as AC/DC's Highway to Hell. So some important things about this. You'll see that after the first double bar line from Crazy Train, this riff takes up the next 5 measures before there's a double bar line. So the riff covers the last 2 measures of the top line and then the next 3 measures of the next line. This riff is based on chords. So whenever you see in standard notation or tablature more than one note written at a time in a vertical line, you play all those notes at once, and that creates a chord. So there's basically 3 chords in this song. There's an A major chord, what's called a D/F sharp chord, and a G major chord. And we'll go over those in the video. Okay, the next thing to look at is that the standard notation shows you the rhythm of the song, and it's a lot more complicated than the last one because we've got rests. Looking at the first measure, you can see the little brick-shaped thing on top of the line. That's a half note rest, followed by what looks kind of like a little number 7, which is an 8th note rest. So a half note rest takes up 4 8th notes. That would be 1 and 2 and then the 8th note takes up 3. So you don't play until the end of 3. And you can see that in the fully graphed rhythm. So the first 3 measures all start the same. You start on the end of beat 3. The 4th measure starts with an 8th note rest. So you come in on the end of beat 1. And then 2 8th notes, you play on 2 end. Beat 3 is another rest. Then you play on the end of 3. Beat 4 is another rest. And you play on the end of beat 4. The important thing to remember is these rests, you have to mute the strings to make the song sound right. Okay, so in the next part of this video, I'm going to perform the song and count for you so you can see exactly how to play it. Okay, this is our second rock riff for AC/DC's Highway to Hell, and I'm going to start by showing you the right hand. The key thing to this song is that you're strumming chords and you have to mute whenever there's a rest. So if I count off the first measure, we've got an A chord. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then immediately silence the strings by putting your hand on the strings like this. Strum, rest. Okay? All right, so now we're going to look at the left hand and then count and show you how to play it. Okay, so on the left hand, I play the A major chord like this. I just bar my index finger. I don't play the high E string at all. Okay? Some people play that chord with these 3 fingers. Then the next chord is what's called a D/F sharp chord. So normally a D major chord looks like that. But here we're going to play this chord with these 2 fingers here and your index finger on the 6th string. And this brings up another type of muting. In this chord, we don't want to hear the 5th string. So we're going to touch that 5th string with the index finger without pressing down on it. You can hear it kind of muted like that when I play it, but when I play the whole chord, it kills it off. Okay? So that's my D/F sharp chord. And then I switch to a G chord like that. And you got to be able to go back and forth between these chords pretty quick to get this song right. So if I count the whole song off, I'll get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. Kind of hard to count it and play it at the same time. But if I tap my foot's going to be a quarter note now, and I'm going to play in between. 1, 2, 3. So the basic idea hopefully isn't too difficult for you to understand, but it could take some practice to be able to switch these chords quick enough, which is why I've got the rhythms written out Take your time, set a metronome to an eighth note click, practice getting the changes back and forth, and make sure you're muting the strings. Have fun.